So today we have a few things to talk about. First off, I am now standing in the lovely city of Ravenport. Well, okay, not so much of a city, just a couple of buildings. So it's a work in progress. There's the first mansion has been finished. I just finished that yesterday. So I've been working a lot on this, but unfortunately my schedule makes it kind of difficult to get it done. I just realized there's a block missing. Look at that. So that little arch that's underneath, or ledge rather, underneath that window is not complete. I'll finish that later. Anyway, so yeah, it's a work in progress. I made the mansion. I didn't design it. It was designed by someone else. I believe Archer designed it. And then someone else made these three buildings, and someone else made this dock I'm standing on. But I made most of the rest of it, like the mansion and the... There's a half-built mansion over here, or like a fifth built. And then these workhouses. The workhouses aren't much to look at. I mean, they're not impressive. It just has various supplies and everything in it, you know, construction materials, that sort of thing. Those were the first buildings that were built here, and I made them. But before that, all this was a dock in the middle of nowhere. So a bit more about that. We are in the expansion right now. So the world has been expanded. I think it's roughly double its former size, something like that. And players have been building new cities. And we'll be going to, I'm hoping we can make it to 3 different cities today, starting with Ravenport, which again is not completed, so I don't know if that counts in your view. But oh, hey, and then there's that, the Raven statue. That's my creation. I designed it. I built it. And look, it's got, see those creepy looking eyes? Let's go get closer to it. So this is a little construction skiff I made. It has all the basics on it that you need to, you know, to build a building. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, you'll also notice the Raven is missing its feet. It's supposed to have feet. But the feet require nether brick stairs, which I don't have any of. So there's a few items on the server that are kind of rare, regardless of how much money you have. And one of them is nether brick. You can get the slabs, which I use to make the beak, but it's really hard to get the stairs. There's only one city that sells them. It's not that they're expensive, it's just you have to actually go get it, which obviously I have not done. I love the way those eyes came out. I think that just looks awesome. Anyway. And then, yeah, it's got wings, has a tail. What more do you want to know? That's about it, really. There's a chamber underneath it, some chests and stuff in it. Nothing all that impressive. Okay, okay, the other thing I want to talk about is light airships. So my own personal light airship is right there beneath it. I call it the Death's Head. If you're familiar with the Airship Pirates series, then that you may recognize that name. The Death's Head was originally a small shuttle used by Bellamy, and now it's a slightly larger cargo ship. So, okay, let's talk about light airships. So the purpose of a light airship is to reduce the lag on the server. So we got to the point where we had a lot of players, and a lot of them were flying very large airships. Like, because they wanted to ship a lot of cargo, right? And to ship a lot of cargo, you need a big airship. But the problem was, it was just killing the server. So you'd have all these airships, roughly 8,000 to 9,000 blocks, and they would all be flying at the same time. You'd have like 10 of them flying at the same time. The server just could not handle it. It was miserable. You couldn't play the game. So ultimately I was like, okay, you know what? I screwed up. I thought that it could handle this. I thought people wouldn't have ships that big or that many of them, whatever. So ultimately I was like, fine, we're going to introduce a new type of airship, the light airship, and we're going to make those the superior cargo transports. So you still have the big airships. Let's see, I don't think there's one docked right now. No, there isn't, but you still have the big airships. It's just these light airships are pretty much always better for cargo. And the way we did that is, let's see, the light airships can fly a little higher than regular airships, which allows them to go over terrain, like over mountains and stuff like that. Big airships, We had to. We just changed the rules so that the big airships cannot go over hills and mountains because it was killing the server. So now only light airships can. That gives them a few key advantages. They can fly higher than fighters can fly, which means that they don't have to worry so much about being ambushed by fighters. They're also a little faster than a big airship. Or a standard size airship, I should say. There are also big airships, but nobody uses those. Yeah, and then we also made it so they can carry more cargo. So here's my cargo module for my my ship here. It's got 30... No, wait, I think this only has 27 chests, or 28, or something like that. The point is, an airship that size could only carry 10. So this is way more cargo than a typical airship could carry. So the light airships are allowed to carry more cargo. Now the downside is they have to be 70% wool. So that makes them way harder to make. And you note, this thing is not armored. This is all wool. All of this on the side is wool. The nose is armored. So this kind of cool skull-looking thing on the nose, that's all armor. The tail is all armored. But the rest of it can't be. So what does that mean? Well, that means that they are not going to be able to handle heavy combat. Now, does that mean you can't do combat in them? No. And people have. I've been in a few fights on the survival server in my airship. When I first introduced light airships, I said, okay, anybody can come and try and shoot me down, and I don't even care. I won't seek retribution. I just want to test these light airships in combat. Yeah, it works. It's fun. I like it. Combat tends to center around positioning and fireballs. You know, you try to light the other guy on fire. And then I did that a few times, saw that they did work in combat, but like I say, heavy combat they cannot do. What I mean by heavy combat is this. If you take one light airship, yeah, you can attack a target. You might win. You probably will, because it does have some advantages. A little faster, it can go higher, that sort of thing. But in a big battle with more than 2 airships on each side, it becomes impossible to protect your flanks. Now, a regular airship has armor, so that's no big deal. Light airships? No. If you're in a battle with more than 2 opponents in a light airship, you're basically toast. Because one of them is going to get alongside, or wherever it is that you have a hole in your armor, and remember, you have to have 70% wool, so you can't get enough armor for everything. And they're going to light you on fire, you're going to die. So they're good for raids. They're good bombers, because they can fly high, get above targets, and bomb them. They're good scouts, because they're a little faster, and they're good at light raids, like going after merchants and that sort of thing. We get to watch the sunrise in beautiful Ravenport. Aww. Where is the sun? Okay, there it is. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So that's pretty much it for light airships. Like I say, they're a little bit harder to make. Because they do have that higher wool requirement. You can't armor them entirely. They tend to be lightly armed. I tried making some with cannons. I didn't like it. I don't think that's a good way to go for these. So I just used the fireball guns, like in the eyes of the skull. This thing has torpedoes that can fire in any direction. And that's it. Just torpedoes and fire guns. That's all I've got. If it was a combat light airship, I'd put bombs on it. But this one is for cargo, so I didn't bother. It was like, I'm not gonna do it. All right, so that is about that. Now, let me see if I've got fuel in here, because I want to take you to some of the other cities that are nearby. Let's see. Oops. Oh yeah, I'm good on fuel. All right. So first, I think we're going to go to Nirau. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm probably going to pronounce all you guys' cities wrong. I apologize. I'm talking to the players who put their blood, sweat, and tears into actually making these cities. Yeah, I'm probably going to pronounce them wrong, but sorry. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. So, okay, we're going up here. We're going... There it goes. Spot a lag there, I think. Okay, Nirau is pretty close to the site of Ravenport. It's just a little to the west. That's probably high enough. I'm just going to turn and start cruising. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm about to take off and fly somewhere with my cargo module sticking out the side. That's bad. Bad captain skills there. Alright, so let's retract the cargo module. Now let's go. And let's close the hatch, too. Don't want birds pooping into my airship while I'm flying. Alright, so while we're making this journey, I just want to talk a little bit about what's been happening on the server since the last video. So there's been a few small skirmishes. A few factions have come and gone. I've already told you about the probably, I think it's the most significant war we've had so far, and that is what was called the trade war between the former Silver Empire and the, well, pretty much the rest of the server. But you know, at the time, the Silver Empire was half the server, so, eh. Anyway, I'm sure I'll probably get flamed for saying that, but moving on. So there's been a few small skirmishes since then. I would say nothing really major. Few factions have come and gone. There's been some controversy over how exactly that happened. I don't want to get into that right now. But the point is that there's been a few smaller factions that have come and gone. Let's see. And then most of what has happened is there has been constant tension between the IA and Kirkadia, which I'm probably mispronouncing. So Kirkadia is the former THC, the former Silver Empire. Okay? Wait, let me rephrase that, because I'll get in trouble for that one too. I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for this video. But when I say the former Silver Empire, so the Silver Empire split into what was then the THC and what is still the IA, or the Imperium Argentum. The THC got... Well, let's just say, so they split. That's the bottom line. THC ended up smaller, probably has some more, I'm going to say, militant portions of the Silver Empire. The IA is larger, probably has more of the engineer types, the merchant types, but you know, that's a gross simplification. Really, there's a lot of crossover of both of them. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of tensions, and most of it has consisted primarily of what used to be called the THC is now called Kirkadia does something, and IA gets pissed about it. So you know, Kirkadia builds a city, and IA gets pissed about it. Kirkadia makes a post on the forums about returning to the glory days or something like that, and IA gets pissed about it. And so it's, I'm not sure how that one's going to play out. You know, this whole conflict between the IA and the Kirkadia. We're going to be rolling out Siege at some point fairly soon. Well, fairly soon meaning in the next few weeks, I hope. I don't know what that is. Anyway, that's probably going to change some things. We'll see how that goes. So Siege is going to allow you to take control of a city using airships. So you fight for control of a city. So that should be interesting. Right now, if you have a war, you can attack the other side's merchants. I think I see the first little bits of Niru over there. I'm going to call it Niru. It is now called Niru. Hey, there's something in the water. Oh, I never noticed that. It's a ship. That's cool. I don't have rights to Niru, because player-built cities by default only have the players that built it, you know? You can add others, like we've allowed the Royal Navy, we've allowed a bunch of people into... Whoa, I just saw a giant skull looking at me. That was a little frightening. Anyway, you can allow others, but as I say, you don't have to by default. And I think I might have had... I think they let me into Nero once. And I might be confusing that with Echelon's Keep. We'll be going there later. Anyway, so I talked about all these tensions. So my big concern about all of this, you know, tensions, that's fine. That's what makes a server interesting and all that. But the problem is that there's this big effort that everybody wants to see happen, myself included, which is the reclaiming of Varys. And... Okay, hold on, I need to turn. And it hasn't happened. It's been months, and it hasn't happened. And I believe a lot of that... Well, let me give you a little background. So, despite all of this talk about, hey, we want to reclaim Varys, hey, we want to reclaim Varys, the only thing that has ever happened is, like, 3 or 4 months ago, what the former THC, now Kircadia, did manage to take over, according to the rules at the time, a piece of Varys, the Airworks. And, of course, IA got pissed about it. And there's this whole big deal, went back and forth about, you know, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm taking sides. I'm sure that the IA had their reasons to be upset. But, yeah, there was talk of violation of treaty and all sorts of back and forth. But in the end, what ended up happening was the THC relinquished their control of the Airworks. It ended up in IA hands. And what has happened to it since? Nothing. If you go there today, you will discover that there's still some wrecks there that have been there for about 3 months. Oops, descend is what I want to do. And nothing has been done with it. You know, it's just been sitting there. So, you know, after months and months and all this fighting and arguing and all this stuff, what has happened with Varys? Nothing. Even the one part that has been reclaimed, there's like an airship there with some building supplies in it, but nothing has been done. The area still has wreckage from the actual reclamation event, and yeah, it's just sitting there. Oh, you probably figured this out just about now, but my airship can, this light airship can submerge. Yeah, it's the type that can submerge, which makes, if I'm honest about it, absolutely 0 sense, because it's a light airship. It's not a warship. It does not make sense for me to have wasted all of those blocks making it submerge. But you know what? I did it anyway. All right, now we get to go for a brief swim in these frigid waters. I'm gonna have to hope someone doesn't come along and steal my ship, which I don't think they will, because there's no one around. Yeah. Anyway, so nothing happened with Varys. Very disappointing. I believe that the reason why is because of these tensions. That these guys are at each other's throats all the time. The two groups who are most likely to put forth the actual time and energy necessary to reclaim Varys are at their throats 24/7, never ending, you know, and they just cannot get along, and that's why nothing's happened. Now there's lots of various excuses. Oh, well, you know, we were waiting for the event to be made, except we already had an event, you know? And, yeah, I think, yeah, like I say, the truth is, there's lots of excuses, but the reason that Varys has not been reclaimed is because the two factions who would otherwise be doing it are at each other's throats. So I'm kind of walking through these, I think, I'm going to go ahead and call these the slums, because I think that's what even the Kircadian people call it, so I hope that is not, like, deeply offensive to anyone, but that's kind of what they look like, so, yeah. And there's a market back here. I spend a lot of time here because, so I'm trying to build Ravenport, right? That's what I do most of the time I'm on the server these days. And I need supplies, and Niru is a great place to get it. So, you know, these Neruvian merchants probably have millions of my money because I keep coming here for supplies. But yeah, so that's kind of the state of the server since then. Alright, there's another thing we need to talk about. Let me get back on my airship so that I can type away without, you know, while I'm still moving. Okay, parked just off the shore over there. See, I've got plenty of food, got plenty of fuel. Yeah, I'll be alright. And I'm going to do a beautiful swan dive off this dock. Woohoo! Splash. Too bad my guy's gonna get hypothermia from swimming through these waters, huh? That'd be cool. If we could get like a mod that made it so that if you go into the water in a winter area, that yeah, you start to get like you start to die or something. Or if you're out in the snow too long, you start to die. That would be awesome. And all of the players listening are like, no, don't do that. All right. Now let's go up. Okay, yes. So the other thing I need to talk to you about is the new chat system. So previously we were using Essentials for chat, and I got a lot of complaints. So what there was local chat, which was fine. Oh, I can't turn. There was local chat, there was shout chat, and then there was private messages. And that's about it. And the problem was, everybody saw shout chat all the time. It didn't matter where you were on the server, what you were doing, how many people were blabbering on shout chat, which you can kind of see is happening right now. But yeah, so it'd just be this constant spam, basically. Not always, right? I mean, if you get in there in the afternoon, there's only a couple people on. It wasn't that bad. But if you got on the weekends, it was often really bad. And so I got a lot of complaints. People are like, it's ruining the roleplay, which I agree with. Can I turn yet? Yes, I can. So anyway, yeah, people were like, it's ruining the roleplay. It's allowing people to have these fights in shout chat that nobody wants to hear. And, you know, it's funny how everyone wants to shout in chat how much they hate each other. And then you say, okay, well, if it's between you two, just take it to private messages or local chat. And then all of a sudden they don't want to shout it, or they don't want to talk about it anymore. Huh, isn't that interesting? It's almost as if you don't actually care about that person. You want everyone else to know how you've been wronged and, oh, it's so bad what this person did. Anyway. Sorry. Let's move on. So yes, we got a lot of complaints about the shout chat. So we set up a new system. The new system still has local, still has a global, or basically a shout chat. It's just called the global channel. And it still has private messages. It also has faction chat and ally chat. So you can talk to other members of your faction, and obviously you can talk to allies of your faction. So that's great. Now it is a little bit of a different system than what people are used to. The system... So previously, in order to control where you were talking, the way you did it is you would prefix what you were saying. So for example, if I wanted to shout, hey guys, I'd do, hey guys, with an exclamation point in front of it, right? So that's not the way it works anymore. Now you control which channel you have highlighted, which channel you are talking into, and then everything you say is in that channel. All right. So, for example, let's say I want to be talking in global chat. I will type /ch space G. That will join me to. It'll join me to global chat, and it'll also make it so that I am chatting in global chat. Okay. And it didn't say anything because I was probably already in global chat. And then I can say, you know, hey guys, still filming the video, whatever. And it will say that, right? If I change to local chat, ch space local. This one you have to spell out. I'm not clear why. I think we just failed to set up an alias for it. Let's just test that again. Ch. Okay. Yeah, previously you couldn't, but it looks like now you can. I think there wasn't an alias for it, but one of the admins must have fixed it. So, okay, and now you're talking in local. So if I say something, this is local. Yeah. Now it has an L in front of it, and only the people nearby would have heard me, right? So it's real simple. And then, let's see, what are the other channels? Then there's CHF, now I'm in faction, sup, then CHA, now I'm in allies, and so on. Oh wait, one other thing. Yeah, well, two other things. first is the private messages. So if I do /m, now this is different. It used to be you could use /w, you could use /msg, but now you have to use /m, right? That takes some getting used to. There's two things that myself and probably a lot of players are still trying to get used to, and that is we keep putting exclamation points in front of everything we say, and we keep typing /w /msg, and we get some message like, you don't have rights, or something like that. Yeah, you just have to type /m, and then it works fine. So I haven't actually tried this yet. I'm curious what this will say. Don't talk to yourself. It makes you look crazy. Yep, you can do it. Okay, good to know. So yeah, anyway, that's how you use a message. Then the last one you need to know about is /helpop. So helpop, I need help with the thingy. That is only visible to admins. So I see it because I'm an admin. The other admins will have seen it, and they're probably at this point thinking, what? Anyway, I'm kind of surprised nobody has said anything. Are there admins on? Yeah, there's a few. Maybe Ekener figured out what I was doing. That's probably what happened. Yeah, so that's about it. That's how you use the various chat systems. Oh, in fact, yes, there goes Ekener saying Baka showing off the chats. Yes, that is correct, Ekener. That is exactly what I was doing. Alright, so at this point, we are sailing off to this... Wow. It's a long ways, obviously. We are sailing off to Echelon's Keep. Now, did you see how big that was? This place is huge, and I have not even begun to explore all of the islands. Like, you can tell, even right now, I'm going somewhere I have never gone before. Maybe I'll find some giant ship, I don't know. But, yeah, so there's all this unexplored territory. Here, we're finally back. This is the regular map that we're all used to. And all of this is unexplored territory. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Anyway, so I'm sailing off there. It's probably going to take me a while to get there. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this bit in post-production, so you guys don't have to like sit here and wait while I do all of this. So I'm going to shut up now, and I will pick back up as soon as we get to Echelon's Keep. Alright, I just want to take one quick moment to show you something. So earlier I had turned off chat. Let me put that back on. And that is that one key ability of the new chat system is you can leave chat that you don't want. So for example, the global chat. I'm going to go ahead and turn off global chat. So I'm going to do /ch space leave global. I think I can do just G. So ch leave G. You have left global. Yeah, okay. Now we don't have to see that anymore. There was some shenanigans going on in global chat earlier, which is why this is so much better. That if you don't want global chat, you don't have to have global chat. Previously, you had no choice. If there were two people arguing about the consistency of rabbit dung, you had to listen to it. Now you can turn it off. Okay, now back to our epic journey across the vast ocean. Alright, we're getting closer. And as luck would have it, I arrived on a very blustery day. But I'm still going to show you the city in as much as I can. I don't know if I have the permissions to dock at this town or not. But I can certainly put my ship in the water just outside the town. Okay, let's see. Huh. There've been a few changes since I was here last. There's this dock structure. It's kind of weird. It's hard to tell exactly what it is in the rain. I think I'm just going to put it down right there. Yeah. Okay. Down we go. Yeah, that's got to be some work in progress. Because for the most part, I've been really pleased with the quality of the construction from the players on the player-built cities. They look great. You know, they put a lot of effort into these places. So I'm pretty sure that that's got to be some work in progress. I'm sure they wouldn't leave something that odd just sitting around. Not sure what it will be exactly. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be something. Okay, now one, I guess you could call it a failing of this particular design of light airship is it's difficult to dock on the ground. It docks in the water just fine, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy the cargo ramp. Well, let's see. Actually, it looks like I can go right in the water right here. And I can always build myself a little ramp with dirt if I have to. But I don't think I'm going to have to. That looks good. Yeah, should be able to dock right there. Okay, now once again, if someone really wanted to, they could steal my ship. I'm rather hoping they won't. Well, they couldn't steal it. They could destroy it. Okay, I'm getting a spot of lag here. I'm just going to restart my client. It's when I say lag, it's on my side. My client keeps freezing, so give me just a second. All right, let's see. Well, I guess that'll do. Sure, right there. Is that a skeleton? I guess I'll find out because it'll shoot me. Yeah, it is. So here we are in the town of Echelon's Keep, city, whatever. And there's a number of people jumping all around. There's some docks over here. You know, I think I came in on the wrong side. I'm not sure I can get it back up there. Let's go around this way. So this is yet another player-made city. And once again, so any player can make a city. They tend to be very expensive. They take a lot of time and effort to put together. And you can have a cargo merchant put in. So these all have profitable cargo routes that you can take to them. And I try to make it so that the player cities tend to be more profitable than most of the stock cities. And they are, for the most part. What on earth? Position 1 here. Huh, must be for a region. So, yeah, so that they become valuable, so that it's worth the time to construct them. So, for example, a route between Echelon's Keep and, say, Aerie will make more money than any stock city route. The most profitable stock city route would be Aerie to Stovok, and Aerie to Echelon Keep will make more. And then, same thing with all of the other various cities, right? Oh, that's cool. They've got a little hammer deal coming out of the ground. Very nice, very nice. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's about it, really. So, hopefully you've been able to see some of the changes that have taken place on the server, some of the new things that are on their way, and so on. And hopefully you'll watch next time and like the video if it has been something you've enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos of this type, and I'll see you next time.